forgot to plug this in. There. Plugged it in. How's everybody? How's everybody doing today? Happy Sunday. Oh, there's Diego. I was looking to see if I could find Diego before I started, and I just saw him. All right, shows I'm live. Let's see. There I am. There I am. Like and share. So go back over here. Yep. Okay. Cool beans, cool beans. Okay, Archangel Ariel must be here. Okay. Hi, Miss Julianne. How are you doing? Yes, you may. I'm adding you to the list. How are you? How are you on this fine Sunday? I just saw a post that said we're hitting 115 again today, and it's the fourth time. Actually, thankfully, it's only the fourth time we've hit 115. I think it was the first or second year. I bet it was the second year I was here. We had like record-breaking summer of 115, and like we had 10 days, I think, in a row of 115, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? Oh no. Well, hopefully you got all kinds of good homeopathic stuff you can take for the crud. It is insane heat. It is. I was looking ahead just this week because it's like, usually, because we are almost in September. We're really almost in September. Usually September, it's like starting to cool off, and when you open the door in the morning, it feels good instead of, oh my gosh, it's still too hot. Close the door again. And I keep my air conditioning setting pretty high. Most people, they say you should turn your thermostat to 78 or 75 or whatever, and I'm like, I'd be freezing if it was that. But yeah, when you open the door in the morning, and then, walking hasn't been bad. I do have to admit that really hasn't been bad, but anyway. Yeah, the crud, I'm sorry you got the crud, but you know what it actually feels like is old stuff leaving. So this is an analogy I was using the other day. Ruth and I were talking, and it's like, you know how when you put water and soap in a pan to soak because there's something stuck on there, and you just got to let it sit and work, and the stuff starts working, it starts leaving. And it's almost like you can see it floating up to the top. I don't know if that actually happens. I never sat and watched it, but that's what it feels like is happening. So something is working, and the crud is slowly lifting to the top to be tossing away. Exactly. Yes, it is like that. When the low in the morning is 90, it's like, take that old stuff, leaving to make room for new. That's right. That is absolutely right. Let's see, I just found Diego right before I came on. So let's see. Oh, and the Schumann. This, to me, I just posted it just a couple minutes ago. And it's not a whiteout. To me, it looks like there's a lot of integration, but it does still look like there's releasing. It says, if you feel unusually stimulated, heavy, emotionally stirred, or simply off, check out, the electromagnetic field. You need a nap. Okay, I guess you've already seen that. That's so funny. Oh. You know, I was like that though the other day. And well, this week there was something that had happened that was it was disconcerting is the best way to describe it. And you know, I've worked through and that's the old crud that was coming up because it wasn't about the event, it was about what it was bringing up for me. So I think this has been a week of releasing crud. But so Diego, what if your new life has already begun? The first signs may be closer than you think. Dear friends, perhaps we have been waiting for a clear sign that something in our lives is changing, while the first signs that have been quietly appearing all around us. We may still wake up in the same room, see the same people, follow familiar routines, and carry many of the same responsibilities, and yet somewhere deep within, life may no longer feel exactly the same. And that feels like that's the old stuff that's being replaced with the new stuff. Something you once desperately wanted may suddenly seem less important. Yeah, I've had that happen before. The situation you tolerated for years may feel strangely distant. You may feel drawn towards different conversations, different people, new interests. Perhaps an old dream was unexpectedly returned, or a completely new possibility has begun appearing at the edges of your imagination. The outer landscape may not have changed yet, very much yet, but your relationship with it has. That's really interesting. The other thing that was occurring to me, and I know that well, you might actually be feeling some of this more than I do. The ring of fire, where it's, you know, I don't know all that's affected by it, but I know if you picture a circle or even a semicircle, and the United States is in the upper right. So all of the countries and all of the land that's being affected by the earthquakes, and I just saw a post that said, I think it said 187 earthquakes. Now I can't remember how many over the last number of days, but you think about this. Even though we might not be feeling the earthquakes physically, like Julianne, you might be feeling them in your house living in California. However, energetically, you think about the impact that it's having on everybody. And so with this many earthquakes just shaking up in the collective, it's still affecting all of us in some way, shape, or form. Most definitely feeling new stuff, doing new projects. That's very exciting. Very exciting. Yeah, and I think the solar, I haven't seen any more updates on that, so that seems like it's pretty much, I think it's settled. Or at least settled enough where, because you know, when there's a whole lot of shit going on, people adjust and they get used to it. It's like, okay, yeah, oh yeah, now I feel okay with that. The other thing that we're setting up for is next week with the full moon solar eclipse. And it's supposed to be a big one, so I would bet that there's a lot of, even as Diego, there's an anticipation that we might not be able to label, but it's there. It's like, and actually that's really interesting because the cards, especially the not so much the Desert Speaks, but the angel cards, they were coming out almost muted. And the word I wrote down to tell you guys was subtle. And the reason I think it pertains is I have a feeling that the stuff that's gonna be happening this week for us energetically, we're just gonna have to like really feel into it, because I think there's gonna be a lot more subtleties to everything than not. Oh, we have a full moon and partial lunar eclipse Friday. I haven't felt the quakes physically. Oh, you haven't? I'm surprised, because it looks like they're, you know, when I see California, it's like, oh my gosh, all of California, but I guess it depends on how big and bad it is. Hi, Miss Marlene. No, it's a lunar. A lunar. So I'm going to, excuse me, I'm going to assume that Marlene and, hi, Miss Val. See, Val says, would like a card. I was just going to say, I'm going to assume that you guys want cards because you always do. So I got you both down. Yeah, so this is the other thing. Thursday, Ruth on Enlightened World Network has a special event. It's all day long where there's special meditations that are all earth related. And I know she's going to be having special posts, but I think they start at 6, I think 9 a.m. Pacific time. So 6 a.m. Eastern, I think, and go all day long. I'm doing actually live that day. She has a couple other lives that day, but otherwise she said she's been doing a lot of pre-records because it'll be a full day. And she said it's really interesting. It's really cool. I got you. Hey, last night, was it last night? Yes, I think it was last night. It looked like Dewey got hit again. A friend of mine out in Dewey Humboldt, right on the main drag. Hail. She said her deck, it's all a mess again. So crazy weather. I wish we'd get a little bit. Not the crazy stuff, just normal. Hey, I'd like it to rain. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do the weekly reading. And like I said, so the Desert Speaks card, that came out fine, just normal. But the first two, for sure, angel cards were very, very subtle in how they came out. So I find it interesting. And Archangel Ariel, thank you for being here with us. Okay, Desert Speaks card is, you guys, what we had last week. Seriously, this is the same card. That is so interesting. Play again. But I think, so, and maybe it's expanding. I think that the playfulness, you know, one of the things that really stuck with me last week, that I don't know, but I don't remember that ever coming up before quite like it did, but is when you play, it's almost like it helps the integration of things quicker. And I think partially because the energies are going so much quicker, I think we need to keep putting more play in there. And it's even, I'm feeling even, you know, fun stuff as in unstructured, you know, play a game of tag, you know, like when you were a kid, play a game of tag and there's not a lot of structure to it except tag, you're it. But it also feels like even the more structured, like playing a game of cards or playing a board game, it feels like there's an integration. It's on a different level than a game of tag, if that makes sense. It's like, you know what, just relax, have fun. Whether you're, you know, there's one other person, sometimes if you're by yourself, figure out ways that you can play. Maybe call somebody and have a game. I don't know. But it feels like, or you know, computer games, they are sometimes kind of addicting and fun. And they keep your brain thinking. But I think more of that again. And I find it interesting, 2 weeks in a row. We haven't had the same card 2 weeks in a row in a very, very, very long time. So, okay, so this is one of the angel cards that came up very subtly. Nurture your soul. Well, of course that goes with play. The nurturing your soul feels like it's going to another, like a deeper level though. Yes, absolutely have fun. It also feels like, you know how some people think that, oh, I gotta meditate. And meditation, or you hear people say, yeah, I've never been a meditator. You know, I just can't sit down and, there's other ways that you can meditate, and which nurtures your soul. Going for a walk, being very mindful when you're walking, even doing, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're very mindful, that is a form of meditation. So nurturing your soul is going to be big this week. Second angel card we have is angels, angels everywhere. And you know what? I think this one might have come up last week too. I can't remember 100% sure, and I don't write down the angel cards, but it seems like, and you know what? Yes, we need the angels. I'll tell you. Third angel card we have is focus on gratitude. Yeah, focus on gratitude. You know, when you are focusing on gratitude, no matter what is going on, it opens your heart on a whole new level. If it's true gratitude, not just, oh, thanks, you know, true gratitude where you can actually feel it, there's very much of a heart expansion that happens. So tell me what you guys think. 2 weeks in a row, baby. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Oh, just sprinkles and PV. Well, I don't know. It looked pretty messy and dewy. Yeah, I'm ahead of you. I'm ahead of you there. Good. I need to play more art and stuff. Yeah, make a game out of art. Hi, Miss Presh. All right, I'm adding you to the list. I like puzzle games and word games. I do too. Well, and I do them on my iPad. Yeah. What's that one? You know, I kept seeing it advertised, and I was like, you know, I'm not going to download it. I'm not going to download it. You know, I probably will download it. Probably will. And then, oh yeah. And I really like it. It's that Meow Duco. The thing that I like about it is because there's a lot of, I mean, some of it's just like obvious, but some of it, it's like, you really got to think about it. So I think it's the reasoning part that the reasoning part. That's one of the reasons I like it. Yes. Yes. It is. It is. I think it is. Oh, funny. All right, so I'm shuffling for Miss Julianne. Miss Julianne. Yeah, so it's interesting. I think I can see where the nurture your soul and the angels, I can see where they want to be more subtle, yet they're always there. And nurturing your soul, absolutely, because it's not like hire a big band and, you know, walk down the street. I'm nurturing my soul. I'm nurturing my soul. Well, some people might, but. All right, come on, Julianne, get your angels on it, baby. Get your angels on it. There it is. And kind of subtle there too. Kind of subtle. Yes, Miss Pratch, way ahead of you. I already got you on the list. Well, that's Arizona. I know. Did some art yesterday besides going to my friend's mom's. Oh, how fun. Yeah, I've seen it coming down the hill from, it was out in Dewey. I can't remember what street that. So you got Mortimer's on the left at that, coming down the hill, and I could see the rain. I could see the line in the road, and it wasn't raining where I was, but I could see by the time I got down the road, down the hill and down just a little bit, it would be raining. That's how Arizona is. All right, Julianne. Oh, I love this one. Reaching beyond the stars. Yeah, this actually, I do feel like you are, you're reaching beyond or pushing through elements or things that may have kept you or held you back before. And it almost feels like, so those little things floating up in the sky, it feels like those are the things that are breaking free. They might be the things that were holding you back before. You know, kind of like the crud that you were talking about, the stuff that's holding you back. But the more you are pushing, the more you are reaching, the more you are stretching. And I'm feeling stretching from an energetic, spiritual point of view versus physical. Though I think physical is good anyway, but that's what it feels like. Yeah. That's what it feels like. Let me know, Miss Julianne. Shuffling for Miss Marlene. You are correct, living beyond or outside my comfort zone. Yeah. And, you know, I think that's what the Schumann is also. It, you know, it pushes us. So it might feel uncomfortable at first, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, this doesn't feel as uncomfortable as it did before. Whoa, okay, Miss Marlene. I don't know what it is, but it did fall. Luckily, it did not fall on the floor. All right, Miss Marlene, but it did fly out of the deck. Keep that in mind. No subtleties there. Okay, ooh, they get physical. And I know this one, I don't usually see a lot of stuff, but I'm sure you guys see more. It feels like walking. There's some walking involved, and I don't know if you're a walker, but it feels like, and if you're not, and I know it's hot, it does feel like there's walking involved. So for you, it does feel like there's a physical, there truly is the physical aspect to it. But if you're not a walker, I feel like just doing something that utilizes muscles, different muscles than what you've been using. So if you're already a walker, maybe do some other exercises, either arm exercises or leg exercises, but it feels like there's some, or I don't know if there's places, place to go to actually do workout. That's never been my thing, but it might be your thing. But it feels like doing things outside of your comfort zone, but for your physical body. Yeah. And what it feels like, Marlene, is it feels like because that will help with everything else. All the other stuff, all the emotional, all the empathic, all the spiritual side of things, that will come in, and it solidifies it more when you're using your physical body as well. Whew. Man, very, very interesting. So let me know on that. All right, Miss Val. We got Val, and then we got Presh. And Presh, you're the last one today. Yep, here we go, Miss Val. Yeah, I think being physical is definitely a good aspect. It's hard. The hotter, when it's really hot or when it's really cold, you know. There's other ways that we have to get it into our lives. I'm a gym rat. Okay, I'm having foot problems. Not so much walking in that sense. Going to have to. Oh, that. Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah, because if you're not able to use your feet as much, that can be a problem. I know. It's like, what did I do? Something I did, and it's like, oh man, if I wasn't able to walk, I would be in a world of hurt. Oh, there it is, Miss Val. Yeah, so that's good. And I know using weights, which I need to do more of those, are good. Oh, look at that, Miss Val. Be yourself, man. I feel like this has to do with expansion. Yeah. It feels like there's a softer side to your expansion that is happening. It's almost like, you know, going back to the play, how the play was the weekly card. It feels like the more you bring play in, it helps soften things for your expansion to happen. And I'm not saying that your expansion isn't happening, but it feels like it'll come in and it'll be, what's the word? More integrated. It feels like it'll be more integrated right from the start. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. All right, Presh, here we go. Last card of today. Planning on getting surgery. Oh, I had bone spurs too. Well, is that what they called it? I think it was. It was because I used to wear, when I was in corporate, I wouldn't be able to do it anymore. 4.5-inch spike sandals. And I could walk faster than I do now. Yep. That was why. Trying to get a bigger cabin. Well, I'll tell you, and that's your sanctuary. Going to the cabin is your sanctuary. So, yeah, there's expansion. Absolutely expansion in that. All right, Miss Presh, here we go. I just saw a picture on the Nextdoor app of somebody that had a roadrunner in their yard. Don't see too many here, but they are around. Oh, let me see what the roadrunner says. Let me see what the roadrunner says. And I'll tell you, roadrunners can take on a rattlesnake and win. Yes, 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 they can. Roadrunner. Mental agility. Stimulate the mind, but do not overthink it. Ooh, there we go. Fresh. Do not overthink it. Ideas are flowing. Act quickly upon them. You need to think quickly on your feet. And I feel like this incorporate the Roadrunner, the take action, with the play. Make things so they aren't so regimented. Doesn't matter what it is. Just soften it. Oh, there's that word again. Soften it a little bit. So it's not so boom, 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 boom. It's like, oh, or incorporate play. So say that you have something that you know, it's like, oh, I don't want to do this. Just going to sit down and I'm just going to crush it out. Well, maybe break it up with some play in between, or play beforehand and plan some play after it. That's what it feels like, not quite so regimented is what it feels like. Miss Presh. Oh, let me know. I could never wear heels. Well, and I don't wear, see now, Birkenstocks. I do have tennies. Actually, the tennies that I have, they're still from Wisconsin. I left Wisconsin in 2012. They still fit me. And there's still nothing wrong because I wear them maybe once or twice a year. Birkenstocks. Wintertime Birkenstocks with socks. Well, there you go. You'll have to let me know. Oh, I need some play. See? We all need some play. Play is fun. It's, no Crocs. Nope. I used to have a pair. I do have a couple of other shoes that I wear. Like if it's wet outside, I will put those on. Just if I'm doing something in the backyard, not to walk or anything. But yeah, I don't have Crocs. I have Birkenstocks. When bills pile up, it's hard. I get it. I absolutely get it. But that's also focus on the play instead of the bills. Yes, it's like, okay, I got to pay a bill. All right, you know, boom, 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 play with the, or be done with the bills, and then go do something fun and focus on the fun and focus on the gratitude. But it's focus on the fun instead of the bills. Sometimes that's a tough one. See you again. I have to go get your mom. Okay, bye, Val. All right, so I'm going to just quick tell you. Let me see. I got to get. So Thursday, there's a full day on Enlightened World Network to set the space for anchoring into the heartbeat of the planet. Different sessions will include working with the etheric grid above us and the earth grid below us, delighting in the elementals and honoring the waterways, mountains, and all that nature has to offer. That's what is planned. And I can't, it's too small for me to see the time. But I think Ruth said it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time, and goes till like, I think she said 9 o'clock. So it'll be fun. Then my feet changed to a bigger size. Oh, yeah, mine still fit for some reason. Oh, you're very welcome, Miss Julianne, and Miss Marlene, you're very welcome. Thanks, everybody, for joining me live. And so check out Enlightened World Network on Thursday. I will be doing a meditation that day. I'm not sure if I'm going to be live in the afternoon. We'll see. But for sure, I'll be back next Sunday. Angel blessings to you, and I will see you next time.